Confession is really very simple, actually. It actually is all about telling the truth. And this may seem very straightforward, but as a matter of fact, telling the truth in our day and age is a radical act. Because knowing the truth will make us free, as Jesus says, the practice of confession is essentially the practice of telling the truth about ourselves and to God. It is not done in order to make ourselves feel guilty or miserable. It's not to beat up on ourselves. We tell the truth because doing so grounds us in the living reality of Jesus Christ, who declares that He is the truth, the way, and the life. And so as we seek to follow the path of Jesus in the 21st century, we align our hearts with His by living and speaking truthfully. The act of confession brings to the surface the discrepancies and incongruities of our lives in order to bring our actions into alignment with our deepest beliefs, to align the outer aspect of our lives with the inner aspect of our lives. As we enter into this time of confession, it's important to remember that you are loved. And because you are so incredibly loved by God, you can tell the truth. You can tell the truth about your life because those are the steps we take to have our lives transformed by this love of God. And so this second spiritual practice, confession, it's good to begin confession with spending time in centering prayer, because we need to focus on who we are and what is happening in our lives. Confession is really just telling it like it is. And central to moving into the bigger mind of the realm of God is the basic process for dismantling and disentangling ourselves from the destructive and maladaptive systems around us. We have to tell the truth about those systems. And so that first step is confession, telling the truth about our lives. What an ancient spiritual practice it is. The difficulty arises from the fact that we are often uniquely blind to what truths about our lives that we need to tell. And confessing in JP21 practice is not about listing a whole bunch of sins or faults that some authority figure or some other popular notion prescribes for us. Rather, it's a process of examining ourselves deeply within, coming to know who we are and who we are capable of becoming. See, that's the whole point of this, is to acknowledge what we can become as God's love works and transforms us. And then naming what is preventing us from becoming that. So this is the practice of confession. It's very, very simple. As you have sat in some contemplative prayer, some centering prayer, where you are there resting in that love at the center of the universe, the center of your heart, the center of your being, that love that is God, you can then tell the truth. And begin with that day, this day. Reflect on what has happened in your life today. What have been your interactions with family, friends, co-workers, strangers? What have they been like? What are the points of struggle in your life? What is your history with those struggles? Is there something you've been working on, trying to come to terms with, or a destructive habit, a bad habit that is really hurting you or hurting members of your family, your friends? What is your history with those struggles? Then reflect on where are the points of joy, of gratitude, and contentment. You know, we can tell the truth about what's going well with our lives as well. What are those points of joy? What makes you feel this way? And then you can reflect upon doing something. If you could change something about your interactions with people, what would it be? This is a good thing to hold up in prayer, particularly in this contemplative, resting in God's love type of prayer, because you're asking for God to change your heart. So you can practice this form of confession or truth-telling every day, perhaps at the close of each day. Spend a few moments in centering prayer before and after this time of truth-telling. Open your heart to the leading and healing of God's indwelling Spirit. Again, we do this resting in the great love of God, knowing that God loves us and wants us to become the best person that we can become, and recognizing that there's a lot still to be worked on. And so the Spirit jumps in to work with us. May God bless you as you try out these spiritual disciplines. May they truly change your life and bring blessing to you so that you can be a blessing for the world.